You know, when you think of a beaver, you probably picture a cute animal with big teeth and a flat tail, right? But what if I told you they're one of the most powerful forces in the natural world? We're going to get into it because the beaver is so much more than just a rodent. It is a full-on world builder.
See, this is what's so wild. Almost every other animal has to adapt to fit its environment. But beavers, they do the exact opposite. They change the environment to suit them. They don't just find a habitat, they literally create it from scratch, transforming entire ecosystems with a level of skill that's, well, it's just incredible.
So that's what we're going to dive into. How do they pull this off? What kind of tools and techniques are they using to reshape the world around them? And maybe, most importantly, what's the big why behind all this constant, incredible construction?
To really get a grip on the beaver's massive impact, we have to start with their official title in the world of ecology. They aren't just called busy for fun, they're known as a keystone species. A keystone species is basically the glue that holds a whole habitat together. If you were to take it out of the picture, the entire system could just fall apart. And that, right there, perfectly describes the beaver. They don't just live in the ecosystem, they're the architects of it.
And this is exactly how they do it. They build these amazing dams that turn fast-moving streams into calm, serene ponds and wetlands. This actually raises the water level for the whole surrounding area, which is great for the forests. And these new ponds, they become bustling neighborhoods for everything from fish and frogs to ducks and even moose. Plus, by cutting down trees, they let sunlight hit the forest floor, which helps all sorts of new plants to grow. They're like a one-animal restoration crew.
So you have to wonder, how on earth can a rodent chop down a tree or build a dam that can hold back tons and tons of water? Well, it turns out they come factory-equipped with a very specialized set of tools, built right into their bodies.
And it all starts right here, with the head. A beaver's skull is super thick, it's heavy, and it's incredibly tough. It's the perfect anchor for their powerful chewing muscles, letting them gnaw through super hard woods like oak and maple without any problem. And then, of course, there are the teeth. Those famous orange incisors are the beaver's #1 construction tool. The coolest part? They never stop growing. And that orange color comes from iron in the enamel, which makes the front super hard. The back is softer, so as they chew, the back wears away faster, creating this perfectly sharp, chiseled edge all the time. They're self-sharpening.
And just to give you an idea of the kind of power we're talking about, the ancient giant beaver had incisors that could be up to 15 centimeters. That's 6 inches long. Can you imagine? Those aren't teeth, they're power tools.
Their feet are also a masterclass in design. On one hand, you have their front paws. They're small, they're nimble, perfect for digging, carrying mud, and carefully placing sticks. But then you look at their hind feet, and they are huge and webbed. They're basically powerful swimming flippers.
And you can't talk about beavers without talking about that tail. It's not just for looks, not at all. In the water, it's a rudder for steering. On land, it props them up like the third leg of a tripod when they're chewing on a tree. It also stores fat for energy in the winter. And, of course, that legendary slap on the water? That's the alarm system telling every beaver in the area that danger is near.
Okay, so to work in their watery world, they have a whole bunch of other amazing adaptations. Their fur is incredibly thick and waterproofed. Their eyes have these clear inner eyelids. Think built-in swimming goggles. Their nose and ears have little valves that automatically seal shut when they go underwater. And this is my favorite part. Their lips can actually close behind their front teeth. This lets them carry a branch or chew on something underwater without swallowing a whole bunch of water. How smart is that?
All right, so all this building, all this heavy lifting, it takes a ton of energy. What exactly is fueling these furry engineers? Well, their diet is both the fuel for the fire and the raw material for their projects.
Beavers are strict vegetarians, and what they eat totally depends on the season. In the spring and summer, when everything's lush, they'll eat all sorts of soft plants like water lilies, leaves, and grasses. But when fall and winter roll around, they switch gears. Their main food becomes the nutrient-rich inner bark of trees. They especially love aspen and willow.
So how do they eat when their pond is completely frozen over? This is where they show off their incredible foresight. In the fall, they get busy cutting down tons of branches, and then they anchor them in a big pile underwater right near their lodge. This food pile is like their winter pantry, and they can access it just by swimming out of their home safely under the ice. And now we really get to the heart of it all. Why go through all this trouble? Why build these massive dams, these intricate lodges? The answer, when you get right down to it, is really simple. It's all about family.
You see, unlike a lot of other animals, beavers have a really rich social life. They find a partner, and they stick with that partner for life. They are truly monogamous. The family unit is the absolute center of their universe, and everything they build, every single stick they place, is designed to protect it.
Which brings us to the lodge itself, an absolute marvel of animal architecture. The entrances are always underwater, which makes it practically impossible for predators like wolves or bears to get inside. Once you're in, there's a lower area for them to dry off, and then a higher, cozier chamber where the family sleeps. And those thick mud and stick walls, they're amazing insulation, keeping the whole family safe and warm all winter long.
So a beaver colony is really a multi-generational home. It's more than just a house. It's a school, a workshop, where the young ones learn all the skills they'll need to become master builders themselves.
Baby beavers are called kits, and they are what scientists call precocial. All that means is that they're born incredibly well developed. I mean, look at them. They come out fully furred, with their eyes wide open, basically ready to go from day one.
They can actually swim within just a few days of being born. But even though they grow up fast, they don't leave home right away. A young beaver will stay with its parents for about 2 years. So a typical family has the parents, the new babies, and last year's toddlers all living together. And during this 2-year apprenticeship, they learn everything from their parents and older siblings: how to patch up the dam, where to find the best trees, the whole shebang.
You know, this incredible hard work and intense focus on family, well, it hasn't gone unnoticed by us humans. The beaver has become a really powerful symbol in our own history, especially here in North America.
For many indigenous peoples, like the Anishinaabe, the beaver represents wisdom, knowing how to use your gifts to make the world a better place. For the Haida, it's a symbol of family history. And for Canada as a nation, the beaver came to represent hard work and the skill of building, which perfectly captured the spirit of a country being built from the ground up.
When you really think about it, the beaver shows us that it's possible to do more than just exist in the world. You can actively shape it. They're this powerful living reminder of how hard work, clever planning, and a deep focus on family can create a home that's stable, safe, and thriving for everyone. A pretty amazing lesson in engineering from one of nature's very best.